Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mac here again today with another build on Destiny 2. Today, I'm going to go over what I like to use on my Solar Titan. Alright, let's go ahead and get right into the build. First up, I've got Throwing Hammers just because I prefer it over Burning Maul. It's got a longer cooldown, but I just feel like it's a much better super. And Towering Barricade, of course, just for more protection. Strafe Jump, because if you don't run Strafe Jump on a Titan, you're weird. Throwing Hammer, this is the most important part of the build. You definitely want to use the Bonk Hammer. You'll see why. And then Thermite Grenades. You could also do Healing Grenades if you want to keep your Restoration going, but you don't really need to. You'll see why. So yeah, I prefer Thermite Grenades. And for aspects, I've got Soul Invictus, so that my Solar Final Blows with my weapons and my abilities make sunspots, and then Roaring Flames, which just gets the stack of my solar abilities up. So like, the more kills I get with my solar abilities, it stacks up to 3 times, the more damage I get. And for fragments, I've got Empyrean, solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration or radiant effects applied to you. Ember of Solace, radiant and restoration have longer effects. Ember of Torches, powered melee attacks make you and your nearby allies radiant. And then Ember of Wonder, just for the extra resilience. This one isn't, this one can really be whatever you want. If you've got good enough armor to put 100 resilience and then still run some other things, this fragment right here is definitely optional. Let's go ahead and get into I've got 100 resilience for just max resilience, so I can be tanky at all times. I've got one decently high recovery, but it's not super important because of the well mods I'll be running. You'll see them soon. I'm running low strength because I'm gonna be picking up my hammer every time I throw it anyway. So, if I've always got my melee ability, I don't need my strength. And then with grenade, I'm running a low grenade just because I'm going to be picking up so many solar wells. My grenade is going to recharge fast enough to where I don't even notice this 18. It's going to feel more like 80. And then low mobility on a Titan, of course. Alright, so let's get into the helmet. First up on my helmet mods, I've got the Resilience mod, of course. I've got Inferno Whip, Solar Melees, Stun Unstoppable Champions, which is really good for a lot of in-game content with Unstoppable Champions. Just press the R1, bam, the champion's stunned. Much easier than running a weapon you don't like to run. Harmonic Siphon, and Font of Might. Font of Might is so that when I make a solar well, like my solar weapons, aka my Callous Mini Tool or my Cataclysmic, can do extra damage. And then for my Syntheseps, I've got, I need to change this, but it doesn't matter. Let's go fastball. With Focusing Strike, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack, and I'm always going to be damaging with my melee attack, so I'll pretty much always have my class ability back as well if I need it. Melee Wellmaker, this is the most important part of the build to go along with the Bonk Hammer. Every time I kill something with my Bonk Hammer, it's going to make solar wells, and those are going to be very important. And then on my chest piece, I run the double seasonal mod for resist, so solar and arc. I'm double resist to both. And then I've got Seeking Wells as well, just because if I'm making so many wells, I like to ensure that I pick up all of them. Most of them are close to me anyway, since I'm using Melee Wellmaker, but I like to just be sure. And they track to my teammates as well, and it's good for like team content where if my teammates are also running solar, I can proc their Fontamite or whatever else they might be running. And then on my legs, I like to run Scavs, of course. Every time I pick up a Orb of Power, it regenerates, or it replenishes health, and then this pairs with my Harmonic Siphon. And then I've got Linear Scavs, just because I'm running 2 Linears with Arbalest and the Cataclysmic from the Vowed Disciple Raid. And then Bountiful Wells. So this one makes it to where every time I make a well, it basically creates 2 wells instead of 1. Sometimes possibly even 3. And what that does is just, it keeps my recharge rate of my abilities going rapid, and it's really good. I highly recommend Bountiful Wells on any build. And last but certainly not least, we've got the class item, and I run Distribution. So whenever I use my class ability near targets, it reduces all my ability cooldowns, and then when I use it, it gives me a little extra bump to my grenade with my bomber. And then one of the most important mods in the build is Well of Life. Picking up a solar elemental well grants increased generation for a short period of time. And this is substantial. I mean, you are constantly healing while you're in fights. Because you're bonking stuff with a hammer, you're getting the cure from the hammer, you're also getting restoration from Well of Life. You are always healing and just being lethal and killing everything. So all of that being said, paired up with the exotic buff of Syntheseps, which buffs my melee range and damage. Range doesn't really matter because I'm using a throwable, but it substantially buffs my melee damage, and it does stack with my aspects and fragments that I'm running as well. So I'm going to go ahead and load into this Master Lost Sector real quick, and I'm just going to show you guys the build and how it works. Alright, go ahead and jump right in, start meleeing some stuff. We'll get a pretty good feel for how the build works pretty quick. Just going to start by getting my stacks of Roaring Flames up. Bonk a few champions along the way. These ads like to hide around in here. You have to kill them all for the next wave of champions to spawn, but no problem. That's weird. And that's every ad in the last sector, 2.5 minute clear. Yeah, this build's pretty crazy. Anyway, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment. Maybe even hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a nice day. See ya.